objectivepersonality.com, Dave and Shan, big shout out. Two guys that I love a lot and have taught me a lot about personality and specifically why this is important on this podcast, because it's about how it relates to business, right? Dave and Shan say there's 4 social types, right? So social type, I'm going to start from the bottom. Social type number 4, and the social type is what drives you. So social type number 4 is someone who's driven by friends. Okay, number 4s tend to move around from job to job because they're putting their family and friends first. Okay, so I had a staff resign recently, and one of the biggest things that they had appealing in the new career they went on was that when they went to the office, there was an office dog. Okay, so if you're moving jobs because there's a dog in the office and you like, that's how you're probably a number 4 personality type, like it's just friends, people, dogs, things like that. I got nothing against dogs. Number 3. A number 3 is a specialist. So specialists are people who are like a tradesman or experts in their craft. They're the types of people who they just want to be the best at doing their job. So imagine a box. They put carpentry in the box. That's what they're responsible for. They don't care about anything else. Someone else can mow the lawn. Someone else can do the book. Someone else can do the marketing. All I want to do is make sure that the timber is straight, square, perfect. Number 3s. Number 2s are responsibility. So where the specialist has a narrow focus, the number 2s have a broad spectrum of focus. They're responsible for everything. They're like, their head's always snapping left and right. They walk into a building, what's happening in the marketing, what's happening with the HR, what's happening with the finance. When we're doing lunch, it's this person's birthday, we have to get them a cake. Like there's absolutely nothing that they're not responsible for in the business. Okay? Think of like a general manager type or like, a middle management type. And then you have a number 1.
That's me.
I haven't even given you the description.
I just know I'm number 1.
Yeah. Number 1 is someone who is ego or identity driven. They have a flex about them. The number 1s are born with a drive to be at the top. Okay. So number 1, 2, 3, 4, you're definitely a number 1. Proof in point. You said you're a number 1. You got that drive to be at the top. If I look at you, I asked you before this podcast, how'd you go in school? You said straight A's.
Never got a C.
What is it?
Never got a C.
Never got a C, right? Yeah, straight A's, right? Founded a business, a huge business, a great, Hero Packaging. Books, authoring books, podcast, speaking, public speaking, all over socials. Like everything about you is like, this is a number 1, and it's
really hard to hear though when you say they're driven by ego. I mean, of course, it's probably the reality. Yeah. I do find that like a really hard thing to hear because I don't want to be someone who's known for
egotistical. It's different to that. I definitely want to. So none of these are negative. These are all just basically what drives someone. Ego is probably got like the wrong connotations. Really, it's about identity. It's about I want to have an identity that is adding value in the world and doing good and being known for doing good, right? So number 1s are probably responsible for doing most of the most inspirational, world-changing, groundbreaking type things, inventions, innovations, and putting their everything, all their being on the line to make the world a better place for other people. So that's not a negative at all. It's actually a beautiful thing. All personality type, like however you're socially set up. Like we've got Tufik in our office. All right.
He's like the tradie.
He's number 3.
Yeah,
right?
number
So
3,
Tufik is the balance sheet king. All right. There's no balance sheet that is in this office that Tufik doesn't look at and make sure it is just squared off to perfection before it goes out.
I love people like him, honestly.
We love people like him too. All right. And every single person brings something to the table.
So true.
But if you know your type in business, right? If you know you're a number 1, then you're probably going to be finding yourself in a CEO role or founding a new business or the face of the company. You know what I mean? If you know you're a specialist, then you're not going to get bogged down with doing all the tasks. You need people to help you with all those things.
Okay, but I have a question for you two.
Yeah. Awesome.
So you two, I assume you're both number 1s.
Maybe, we don't know.
But then
I'm
how?
not 100% sure yet.
But then how do you work together? Is there only allowed to be one number 1?
No, because I think business is so broad that you can number 1 different things. So
in different silos.
In different silos, to some degree, like yeah, I'll speak on my behalf, I guess. So my version of number one mentally, I haven't fully figured it out.
Yeah, that's what a number two would say.